Good day everyone, I am John Mercader and today I will be presenting on the hemodialysis flow. So here is an overview of the hemodialysis flow. So before we begin, let us define first what is hemodialysis. So hemodialysis is a procedure wherein the blood is filtered using an artificial kidney, which is a dialyzer. So in this procedure, first thing that will be done is identifying the arterial access. And this can be achieved using the AV graft or AV fistula. So AV graft or arteriovenous graft is done wherein an incision is made through the arm and the vein and artery are connected via a single tube. Whereas in AV fistula or arteriovenous fistula, the vein and artery are connected to each other. So in this presentation, AV graft will be used. So after identifying the arterial access, the red line, so this red line represents the arterial blood line, which are then inserted to the fistula dialyzer, wherein it sends back to the venous access. Then after that, the pump machine, the blood pump machine is gonna utilized wherein it slowly draws out blood, which are sent then to the dialyzer. Then after adjusting the blood pump, an heparin will be injected, which will be used to prevent the blood from clotting. So it usually takes 3 to 6 hours per session. And also, a normal saline solution is also administered to cleanse the blood of the patient. Then after injecting the heparin and normal saline solution, arterial pressure manometer are then monitored, which is used to observe if there is an increase in arterial blood pressure in the tubings or in the dialyzer. Then after that, monitoring of the arterial bubble trapper are then done. So if there's bubbles present, so this may indicate that there's a problem or loss of connection, which may lead into microemboli or blockage in the tubings or in the blood vessels. Then after assessing the arterial bubble trapper, the capillary blood inflow tube, wherein the blood is pumped, is going into the dialyzer. Now we move on to the dialyzer. So before the blood enters the dialyzer, it will pass through first to the dialysate inlet. So this inlet refers to the valve which helps blood enter to the dialyzer. So after the blood enters to the dialyzer, it will undergo processes. So first process is what we call diffusion, where there's an exchange of solutes dissolved in the blood due to the difference in the amount of solutes that are present in the blood. Then next process is the osmosis. So wherein the fluids move from higher concentration to lower concentration across the semi-permeable membrane in the dialyzer. And then lastly is the process called ultrafiltration. This is a process wherein molecules of water and fluids from the blood are removed through a dialysis membrane. So there's a tube here in the side which allows the blood to go out through the membrane. Then this pressure on the dialysate will be lowered in order to move the dialysis through a membrane. After the blood enters the dialyzer, it will then go out of the dialysate outlet. And then the venous bubble trap then is utilized to catch the air in the system to prevent the returning of the venous blood back to the fistula. After that, a heparin injection is then administered to prevent the blood from clotting, which prevents also thromboembolism. After that, a venous pressure monitor is utilized to monitor the venous blood pressure in the dialyzer and the patient's body. And then the venous bloodline are then utilized to have a good blood flow through the blood vessels. And then lastly, accessing the venous access from the AV graft are then utilized to administer the filtered blood back to the patient's body.